So, good evening, everyone. Tonight we have our ninth episode of second season of After Work Talk podcast, and they have really interesting guests tonight. But let me first remind you quickly about our podcast. So it's created by me and Rainer. Unfortunately, Rainer can't join us tonight, so I will be alone. But I have a great company. I am Oleksandr Moskalyuk. I have more than 20 years in IT in different roles, and now I'm working more as a business analyst and process analyst. But tonight we will talk more about requirements, about artificial intelligence, and how we can use it in our life. Because I think AI just will stay with us, and we should just learn how to use it and how to adapt to new reality. But before I present our guests, I want to remind you about our sponsors. So main sponsor is Deutsche Telekom. Um, Also, we have as sponsors AIxRE, International Requirements Engineering Board, and consulting companies IBO and Masventa. All the information about sponsors you can find on our website, as well as sessions, speakers for our coming conference, and of course buy tickets, because we will have this time we will have not only sessions but workshops as well. And my guest tonight will hold one of the workshops that we will talk about it later. So let me introduce my guests. Matthias, Michael, I'm really happy to have you tonight. Please tell a few words about yourself, so I won't just ruin everything.
Super. Thank you so much, Alexander, and thank you for having us today and for the introduction. We're really excited and thrilled to be here. My name is Michael. My background is software development originally. I started in the corporate world here in Switzerland for about 15 years. Went from different companies, from UBS to Ernst& Young, and then finally at Stocks, or the exchange, SIX and German stock exchange. Had various roles in that: technical lead, developer, technical lead, and in the end, I was heading the e-business at Stocks. And one of the questions that always was my most companion was asking why. Hey, why are we doing this? And kind of what's the pain points that we're trying to resolve, trying to understand, what's the users or the stakeholders' benefits. And with this curiosity, I decided I want to get out of the corporate world and do something on my own, or like with a few people, starting something myself, and also sharing the experiences of the various industries I've been in and the various companies. And so it wasn't so far of a fetch to do trainings in the field of business analysis and requirements engineering. Before that, I was heading a couple of remote teams offshore as well. And nowadays, I'm doing IREP foundation trainings, CARS trainings, and AI trainings as well. Often and every once in a while, I'm doing also some coaching and some consulting, but more like helping to get people up to speed rather than being for years in the same company the whole week. I enjoyed it a lot. A couple of months ago, I was also invited to join the special interest group about AI from IREP, and very honored to be part of this group, where we also exchange on, where AI can bring our field of expertise forward for the future. And just upcoming right now is that I'm getting certified AI trainer in cooperation with Kimpact here in Switzerland. It's an association which tries to push the whole AI topic forward into everyone's mind, because I think this is something which is here to stay, and we're very passionate in sharing that and helping other people. So there's something that there will come up with a certification pretty soon, I think end of February. And another reason why I'm very excited today is because I have one of my best friends here, Matthias, with me. Normally, we work very closely together. We pretty much talk every day, but mostly remotely, just via call, as you guys are online today, because we don't live in the same location. But we always enjoy a couple of times per year to do a so-called vacation, where one comes to the other and then stays for a whole week, and we kind of try to club things together, like the podcast today, but also tomorrow we're going to kick off a developer boot camp to bring them up to speed with AI. And So I'm very excited, and I'm gonna hand over to Matthias.
Cool, thank you. Hello, my name is Matthias. Nice to meet you all, and happy to be your guest here. And I make it a little bit shorter. I started in IT as well, and then I went to Fraunhofer, a little bit research. Then I went over to large companies, consulting, security consulting, team lead, IT team lead, all the roles. And then 2018, I started my own business, started some startups. And from these both sides, I had a pretty good view on requirement engineering. So from company side and from the startup side. And after these two experiences, I really wondered, okay, what can we do better, and why do we have such huge effort to build software? And so I started to teach requirement engineering together with Michael, and during these years we thought, okay, it's a pretty good idea to combine it with artificial intelligence, and we created a combination of both. And so we are today here, and I'm really happy to tell you or show you something, and I'm really excited what your question will be, or yeah, how many will join our workshop in later this year. So let's start it. Thank you.
Yeah. And what I love about our tonight's meeting and podcast that you have a lot of practical experience working with AI and with in different fields. So let's see what we can discuss or talk about tonight. So we have a list of questions we want to discuss during our podcast, and also we will do some live demo. How to work with ChatGPT and how ChatGPT can help us with requirements preparation, elicitation, and other tasks, business analysis tasks. And of course, we will give you more information about workshop that will be happening during the BA Day on May this year, but it will be later. So, what questions you get mostly, from audience, and I think it's a great way to start discussing this huge topic. The first thing that we start thinking about when we talk about AI in corporate world is how your data is protected, because anytime we start using AI in enterprise, there is this huge risk that we can share with it some secrets, some commercial information, and how we can protect it. How we can reduce this risk. What do you say?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I mean, it's a very good question, and also something which, at least in the second on the second thought, becomes very obvious. Like, it's great to have these tools and to chuck stuff in and to get great results out, if you do the prompt right. But it's always to be considered, like, what are exactly is it private information? Is it sensitive information? And you should not just jump that into any LLM. I mean, just the most recent example is, I think maybe some of you heard it already on in the news over the weekend. DeepSeek, a Chinese new project, which is kind of with just a fraction of the training and the computing power, is beating ChatGPT by OpenAI. And that has caused quite some, nervosity on the market. But at the same time, do you want to just, share all your private data with a new company that came on board? Probably not. I mean, there's different ways how to get out of it, and it's actually very interesting. When we started these courses like a while ago, we were talking about, a private instance of OpenAI, for example, of ChatGPT in your own Microsoft Azure cloud, but that also comes with quite a huge price tag on it. And nowadays, well, we can also install local LLMs via Olama and things. This is what we often do as well, and that means also your data is protected. But then also, if you look at major other players like Microsoft, for example, to be honest, I'm not the greatest fan of the Copilot compared to other LLMs, but there's one big advantage. Even with the free version, as soon as you log in with an Entra ID, like with a company corporate M365 account, Actually, everything except for any web searches stays in the tenant. So the log files, everything stays in the tenant. I mean, boils down to the question, do you trust Microsoft in the first place? But if as a company, if you're on M365, you have your emails there, you have your data on SharePoint, then anyway, it doesn't, there's no
It
difference
doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter, yeah. You just pay a little bit more of license costs, but that's pretty much it. And I wouldn't really probably bet on, you know, all the features which are in M365, like the search in Outlook, if that's not already AI powered by the same model, but it's just like not sold as a feature, things like that. Maybe you want to add something?
That's completely true. And yes, so and especially with the local versions of large language models, for sure, everybody of us can install it by yourself in 5 minutes, depending on your download speed. Yeah, but then you only have a pretty tiny and not that fast or intelligent large language model on your machine, but you can start working with it and interacting with it, providing information and chatting about your documents or information completely locally, air-gapped. Yeah, you can just switch off the internet and continue working with that, and it's a pretty good start to play with it. But for sure, the large language models where we pay monthly, they are way much better, more computer power behind it, yeah, for sure. But it's a good opportunity to start with it step by step.
Yeah. And if we look at, I think also the question here that we received from the audience specifically on internal Confluence knowledge. Well, I kind of just from reading the question, I understand, okay, internal, like, okay, they have a Confluence, they have their own instance locally in the network, which is probably, you know, air-gapped or at least not connected to the internet. Well, that is a bit more difficult, to be honest. I mean, you could export everything and then, you know, chuck it into Copilot, for example. But that's probably not what you really want, because Confluence data or Confluence pages also tend to be very fluent and updated more often. If you decide to trust Atlassian, and I think they are pretty much, when it comes to data protection, etc., they're not the worst, to say that. If you move to the cloud, you have the AI features pretty much just without, you know, any additional cost, comes with the enterprise license. Pretty much every other vendor uses AI for another kind of abbreviation. AI there means Atlassian intelligence, not artificial intelligence. And yeah, Jira and Confluence come with great features already. You know, the basic use cases that you would use an LLM like Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, or something, or Copilot. I translate this text, improve it, remove typos, you know, extend it or make it shorter or change the tone, etc. All of that comes in there. On Confluence, it's the same. And Confluence also, there's an AI search where you can ask your question in natural language, and you get answers from the knowledge base. How that works in the background, I mean, we're not the implementation specialists that, you know, would be able to code their own LLM, but in general, this goes through a RAG, retrieval of additional knowledge. So they don't retrain their models continuously, but they rather have like a trained model. Imagine like an assistant which has gone through university, and you give them, you know, a lot of interesting books, and then the person, you know, is very fast in reading everything through and giving you the right answers. And so just to maybe finish answering the question, if you're on an internal Confluence page, yeah, thank you.
Especially this extra information which you can give to a model. Yeah, it's depending on which model you use. One is pretty good in this extra information, to process it and to answer your questions. Others are not that good, so there you can choose the right one to achieve that. Yeah, but yeah, maybe or do you have some more answers? Question?
No. Well, up until now, I was excited to have you here. I'm not sure anymore.
Never stop
Okay.
talking.
Okay. So anyway, we have a lot of questions. Yeah, and also you promised live presentation, live demo. So let's move on. Okay. I think everybody who worked with any AI like ChatGPT or something else knows that the prompt mostly text and the result mostly text. Yeah, ChatGPT can create, of course, table, or can even try to create some diagrams. But as business analysts, we know that we should use different techniques, different tools, just to provide our stakeholders better view and better understanding of requirements. So how we can use AI to help us model requirements, not just write down the huge use case or a lot of user stories.
Yeah, thank you for that. And that's where we thought, okay, we probably show a quick live demo, which is more tangible for people than just, explaining it over a few words, more or less words.
Listening the next 10 minutes.
But just to demo something up. And that's very interesting. This is the way how our journey started with, in this field, applying AI in RE. It's pretty much 2 years ago. It's not so long ago when ChatGPT was launched. I'll quickly have to navigate to the right spot. So in an AIxRE course, in an AIxRE training, we have, we try to do a lot of practical exercises, not just, if you do the certification, you're only asked in the foundation level to be able to understand diagrams, read them, and answer questions. But we feel like, hey, we want to give people also, some practical experience and some hands-on. So we usually let them draft and draw diagrams in small groups, and then we discuss and review. Just because we say, hey, if they can draw it, they can read it anyway. And it's faster and it's more interesting. And, they can also apply something, hopefully, in their day-to-day work, which is one of our main goals. So, and that's one of the original tasks where we have a little bit of a process description, and then we let the people, create an activity diagram with different swim lanes. And that usually takes up to 30 to 45 minutes to have people, a group of 3-4 people to produce some result. And then we talk through it in the whole group. And while they were doing it, actually, we were like a little bit, can't we do this somehow with AI? And we kind of thought about it and then also talked through with ChatGPT. And I want to show you a couple of different approaches how you can do that. I mean, that's just a little bit of the stuff that we do and that we have in our repository, but just to give you some ideas. Obviously, I think the question already mentioned it, using DALL-E, like the built-in image generator. I'm not sure if it's available in the free version, but definitely in the ChatGPT paid version, you can generate pictures, but they're not precise. Even with text, it's difficult. It's getting better and better, but you rather get a painting than, a diagram or anything. But there's shortcuts, or like, some workarounds, say, for example, PlantUML. PlantUML is a language where you can describe UML diagrams, and you can use that as interim step. And this is what we're going to show you right now. If we look at the prompt, the lower part is exactly the same process description as on the left-hand side. And we put a little bit of a pre-prompt up front. We tend to be rather more explicit in prompts, even if it's a different task, we put more context in it, because we say, hey, the more context, the better the results are, or what we also call the Shisho principle, whatever gets in, you might get the result out. But in diagramming and things like that, also in programming languages, these are very precise tasks where the LLM knows pretty well, what we expect, at least from a format perspective. So we don't need that much additional information. Basically, we just provide a role. You are an expert in requirements engineering, and you are very good at visualizing process descriptions with swim lanes in the form of UML activity diagrams. I would like to visualize the following process in PlantUML, be precise, stick to the description, and use exact UML syntax and swim lanes. So if we chuck that into ChatGPT, we use 4.0 model, it would also work in the free 4 model. I think there's not any problem. So actually, there's a test. Sometimes ChatGPT does split tests where you get 2 results at the same time, and they kind of evaluate what result you like better, what one makes more sense.
It's a pretty nice example, because we get 2 different results. We are still talking about generative AI. So every time we let generate something, it's little bit different. So always check what you will get here and read it carefully before sending out.
Yeah, I think that's the drawbacks, or the limitations. Exactly as you said, you regenerate, you get a slightly different result. It's not like a function. I put A, I get B. Sometimes I get, when I put A, sometimes I get B, sometimes C, sometimes B plus, etc. And so what it does here, it identifies in the text which are the different roles or actors, say, and then it would write plant UML in plain text. So I'm just copy the result, and then there's free installations or websites where you can, generate diagrams out of the code. We're putting the code in here, and I generate it, and here is my diagram with swim lanes. Obviously, this needs to be verified. You can't rely just blindly on it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've done that so many times, these sort of use cases, and yeah, most of the time it works, but yeah, really double check. Now, the question is, if you disagree with something and you want to change it, then you have a few different methods. You can either just write the code, but make sure you adhere to the syntax. Otherwise, if it's not correct, say I put like a typo, I try to generate and it should give me an error. Well, probably if I remove the else, then definitely I should get an error. Yeah. Now, even if you get a result from ChatGPT that doesn't work, you could, do a screenshot and complain or tell it, hey, it doesn't work, give it the error and it will correct it. Now, the second option that you've got is you just continue the conversation with ChatGPT and tell, or your other, it works with Llama, it works with Gemini, it works with Copilot, DeepSeek, and any other, or Perplexity. So, and you can still continue discussing, hey, I don't want to have the swim lines or change the order or whatever. And, that's something that you can do very easily. So that's approach number one. This is with a plain ChatGPT instance. Now, there's also things called like, and you get this plant UML. Before we move to the second approach, actually what we can do is like, please create this in Mermaid. Mermaid is another way. Mermaid actually comes more from mind maps, but it also gives another visual representation. And with a similar syntax, you can also do this while it produces the result. I think I jump already to Mermaid, Mermaid chart. Do I need to sign?
No.
Nope.
No. Get started for free and take this.
Start for free? Yeah, still.
No.
Mermaid
This
live.
editor done. Take this.
Straight jump into the editor. It still asks me for an account.
Start editing.
That's the issue with live demos, but don't worry, we have got a backup. I got this one. So I take the Mermaid code, I put it in here, and now it should kind of create it. Actually, it doesn't. And I think it always makes the mistakes that it does not use, it uses double quotes. And that's something I could discuss. I could have also changed the prompt right now. Well, I think I'm faster if I just correct it in these 5 or 6 instances.
At least we do it manually now.
Yeah, sometimes it's like it's a mix
So,
and match. Right?
Still a place for human, yeah, in this interaction.
Yeah. We have something to do in the future. Deleting
comments.
some charts. Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, this didn't work as expected, but doesn't matter. I have a result which definitely works. And yeah, here you can see you get a different representation of the same thing. Now, this is all done with pure ChatGPT. If you want to use your personal knowledge base, documents, and some custom instructions, so you don't have to prompt everything again, you can create custom GPTs. Same concept is there in Claude, for example, with projects, in Perplexity with, what is it, artifacts or something. I mean, there's different approaches, all pretty much mean they encapsulate the logic. And there is in the GPT store, there's a couple of GPTs. I'm using this one. I enjoy using this one quite a lot. The presentation and diagram generator. So we go back to our prompt and we just copy that.
So maybe to explain, this is a special custom GPT, which one of the guys out there has implemented with a super master prompt, and this guy has given a lot of description how to paint such UML diagram, etc. And as you can see here, we have to give access to ChatGPT to call a foreign API to create and paint us this beautiful, hopefully beautiful diagram at the moment. So it's a combination of a foreign API and a customized GPT.
Yeah,
but it's for free.
It's for free. You can use it even in a ChatGPT free account, but then your number of messages are limited, and if you have a premium account, you can use it more often, more frequently. You can see also here a diagram. Now I can download the picture, I can edit it with code, and I think it straight jumps into Mermaid again, where it asks me, no account required, exactly. So another instance of Mermaid. I can also straight jump into Miro. But I think at the moment there's a problem. The creator of this ChatGPT, the owner's account is paused, so you can't edit, because normally you would see that on the new board and you could, just edit, change the objects, change the arrows, relabel everything like that. It's possible.
Can edit as well.
Yeah, and Mermaid I think can edit here as well.
Yes. Today, Mermaid has add the functionality to edit the diagram directly in their interface. So I don't know, 3 months ago, it wasn't possible. You only could download it as an image. So this is a recommendation from our side as well. If you generate such diagrams, so save this code here as well. Yeah, and then if the project changes or the software or the requirements, then you just can edit the code here or let the code change by an AI, depending on how the requirements change. And then you have a living document and not a static JPEG.
So it synchronizes back into the text description as well. But talking about Miro, actually, there's another feature. If you have a paid Miro account, you just move to an empty space and you click the magic button here. There's a couple of different things you can do. Brainstorm on a topic, you get sticky notes, etc. Or you can also draw, for example, a flow chart. So if I put the same prompt in here and I say create diagrams, it'll also create a diagram for me where now I can easily edit and improve, change, recolor, whatever. So these are just like some ways, and there's new tools and new ways approaching pretty much every day. We're trying to keep up, but it's a bit challenging. But these are just for some suggestions, some ways how you can work with visual representation, which at least gives you a good starting point where you can then have your discussion with your stakeholders and refine and rework.
Yeah. So stop painting diagrams for hours and days.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, guys, you can keep your screen, your presentation, because it's interesting, and also we can jump to other question that requires demo, and then later just discuss all others. And to support, I can share that you can use as well this text to diagram feature in Diagrams.net and also in Lucidchart. They both support it as well.
Yeah.
And and from a practical perspective, so I think it's good to keep as well the original text of the diagram in the requirements. So when your requirements changes, but it happens very often, so you can just change the description, you can update your diagram with low effort.
Yes, exactly. So we were out of microphone, and yes, and maybe if you have a cool automation, you can change the code for the diagrams automatically, depending if the code of the diagram knows which requirements are related to it, and then you can automate it. That's so we don't have to take care about all requirements and diagrams manually. So that's the goal.
Yeah, and also it's much quicker to update text, but not to put another square in the huge diagram here and replace everything or reposition everything.
And it
Okay.
also works both ways. Just something that I just recall. You can also upload a picture of a diagram and tell it, hey, please give me the representation in any dialect of your choice that you want to use it for.
Yeah, if you have old JPEGs from an old project, just take the JPEGs, throw it to the large language model and get the Mermaid or Plant UML code back, and then you can start rebuilding it on a fresh way.
Yeah. So talking about changes, as we know, there is nothing static. Everything changes, and we should think not only about supporting or maintaining our requirements. Now, as soon as we use AI, we should also maintain AI base, and AI. and how we can do this, and any recommendations here or ideas.
Yeah, we have thought about it, and for example, or the best example, which we think is a good example, is so we use Notion as our content management system. So we create all our content and texts and trainings in Notion, and for example, there Notion offers a Notion AI as well. So and if we use Notion AI to generate whatever a new content or no new paragraph, so in Notion, so this will be part of our content at this moment as we have generated it. So it's for us, we do not separate our knowledge or our content from the AI generated content anymore. Yeah. So it's at the end of the day, it's one content, and it's working immediately with it. But I can understand if somebody wants to separate the AI generated content, code, whatever, from the original knowledge base. I don't know. What do you think?
Now, I also think, obviously, you don't want to blindly apply whatever you get as a result onto your, pristine source data, which still might contain errors. Yeah, but obviously, you don't want to do that. Basically, what we do mostly is like we get the results, we check them, we validate and make sure maybe we change something, we adjust, and then it becomes just we blend this into the entire knowledge. It doesn't really matter so much. I mean, in some cases, okay, we might still flag it, but our approach is more like to put it all into one repository, because imagine, like we always tend to think about or imagine an AI like an assistant. If you have an assistant and you get the work and you double check, you validate that, maybe you do some updates, and then it becomes part of the entire work. And there's no differentiation who has done that actually, but it's more like if the result is good and if it's precise, doesn't really matter.
But maybe we can understand this question a little bit different if we are talking about requirements. So in a huge project, we have, I don't know, endless requirements, and then we have some releases and software and whatever, and then some stakeholders will change some requirements, and now we have produced a lot of code and releases, whatever, and which requirements will change the software or what we have to adapt. Yeah, so we can make pretty cool checks with AI if we give all the requirements, the new requirements, and what we have produced or live at the moment, and let compare it. Yeah, and let make a check. Okay, does our software still display or still implement all these requirements? Yeah, and if we have some changes in the requirements, then the AI can give us some change requests or new tickets or new requirements or whatever. Yeah, to identify the gap. Yeah, so maybe from this point of perspective, it's I think it's more related to our topic instead of our Notion knowledge base, where we just keep all our knowledge and AI generated stuff.
Yeah, I think it's the both examples are great, and also in change management, AI can be really helpful because it actually can read all the documentation of the project and help you to identify all the interconnections and all the impact you should think of while changing something. Yeah, so it can be really helpful using AI for this task. But anyway, yeah, this demo always much better than just one slide of presentation. So let's talk about mockups and prototypes, because it's another task that takes a lot of effort, and I think AI can help here as well a lot.
For sure. Let me change the window. I share the application.
Yeah,
So
while we're talking,
the diagram again.
There was a scandal I remember with Figma, I think, when they rolled out their feature of AI-generated mockups, but actually all the mockups were almost the same as existing iOS apps. So I don't know the current situation, but yeah, previously it was.
Yeah, that's not that good. But yeah, let's. We all know, depending if we produce software or not, if we want to have some quick mock-ups to show the stakeholders or the customer how it looks like or how it could look like. Yeah, And then we have the issue, okay, I have to send my requirements to the design team or the design department, or I have an external company which have to produce the mock-ups, whatever. Yeah? It can be a huge effort, a time-consuming task, and then I don't know, then we wait 3 days for it, and then it comes back, it's completely worthless or completely not what we thought about or whatever. And there are AI tools which can help us to speed up this process quite a lot. So what we have done in our trainings, and let me zoom out, it's we have some agile requirements and AI training, and in this training the participants have developed an application from the idea to a mock-up or a working prototype, which we will have a look later. And the idea was to create or to produce a food waste app. So basically an app where a supermarket, for example, can post, hey, we have some food left, whatever, maybe you want to get it for half of the price or for free, yeah, to that we don't waste that much food. And the idea was born, and the participants started with a product vision, what they want to develop, what they want to deliver. Then they get some requirements out of this idea of this product vision, and at the end they produce some user stories. So it was not that in detail because we only had pretty less time, but at the end it was pretty okay. And so we thought how we can produce a quick mock-up to go to the first customers, to our stakeholders, and show them what we want to do. And for this we used AIxRE.io. Maybe we can share the links or whatever later, or somebody can type it in the Zoom chat, or I can do it later. And basically what you can start here really fast. Just type in 300 jars what you want to build. If it should be a mobile, tablet, or desktop application, then start continue. Then you can choose a screenshot or a website, and the tool will copy the design of this given source to make the mock-up looks like that. Or you can upload, if you have the paid version, your completely brand kit with CD, CI, images, logos, whatever, and the mock-up will use them. And then you just click it here, and we had immediately, I don't know, it takes 30 seconds, and we had some first ideas how our food wasting app could look like, with a registration, with some overview where you find containers. It's in the food wasting scene. They call it, I don't know how to call it in English.
Container.
Container, yeah, to container. So they basically look for food for waste containers and just save the still eatable food out of the containers. And anyway, and here we got some other proposals how or which kind of features our app could provide and how this looks like. For example, a map as well, where you can navigate to the next supermarket or container, a chat feature where you can chat with the other food waste savers. So, and for sure you can make a preview, yeah, to send it around to all your customers or stakeholders, and hey, here it's our first draft, please click through and give me feedback, yeah. And then we can just let the stakeholders click through our mock-up. They can play a little bit with it. I don't know where the profile is, but you see we have a clickable product in seconds, and it's working, and it's showing us the features which our participants has thought about, yeah, the idea, and we can start playing with it, yeah. And if we are not happy with that, we can go back, redefine the prompt, discuss with this tool what we like and what we not like, and then it's adapting this immediately, yeah. And so we can save a lot of time and get proper feedback. Yeah, this tool, for example, gives the opportunity as well to share this mockup, and the people who try it can give feedback directly, click into it. Hey, I like that. This is not good, whatever. I like this feature. And so we can iterate pretty fast. Yeah. So this is one example with the mockups. Maybe if somebody has a question for it, go ahead. If not, I go immediately to the next demonstration because
let's go to the next one. Yeah, because we're running
yeah,
out of time, and
okay.
yeah.
So, and then the participants ask me, okay, maybe we can go further in requirements engineering. Sometimes we build MVPs, yeah, or prototypes, yeah, to go further, deeper into the market, ask more participants, more stakeholders, and we really deliver a working product to get proper feedback. And how we can do this, yeah, for sure we can write, I don't know, 40 user stories, plan it for the next 10 sprints, and then we have maybe not that much, but it's a huge effort to ship out a working prototype with all the features of such an idea. And we can fast this up as well. So we took what we have done. We used null.dev. I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest, but and this is an text or image to code tool. So you just put in your prompt, your idea, or you just only give a screenshot of your idea, what you have painted on a paper or whatever, or you import your Figma design if you already have, and the tool will build an app or a prototype with proper code for you in minutes, which you can deploy. And you can send it around, or you can build a proper app to download or to use on an iPhone or on a smartphone. For example, what we have done, where's my Miro? No, that's the old one. Give me a second. So we have used this prompt. So it's basically the requirements. I don't know, we had 4 or 3 user stories, which our participants has written down in this in our training. And we have given this prompt with the user stories to this AI tool. And then it started to code. So here's it's a mixture of German and English, but doesn't matter. Yeah? So most of the large language models are completely know what kind of language you put in. Yeah? But depends. DeepSeek, I've tried DeepSeek yesterday, and it's pretty strange. If it shall answer me in German, then it takes a little bit English, a little bit, I don't know, a little bit Russian. It's a whole mixture of every language. So it's in this case, DeepSeek is not the AI killer like the news are telling us. But anyway, so we put in here the prompt. And then this tool starts to implement. And the first iteration looks like that. Here is our first iteration of our app. So we can click and we have some entries where our food can be found. And then we start communicating with this tool, with prompting and telling, okay, I like that, don't like this, please make it more colorful, use this, add this feature. And you really can click through your history, and the next iteration looks like that. So I only have asked, okay, make it fancy design, make this hover, and I don't know, make it more fancy, yeah. And I've discussed with this, okay, this is not working, try this, whatever, yeah. And here you see, if I click here, it's not working, but you see here the icons like we know it from an app. It's not working, still not working. Then I continue to discuss it, yeah. So I've never written any line of code or whatever, yeah. And so I click, I improve, develop my application only with prompting and asking.
Yeah, with the same fancy look, but I mean, tastes are very different and individual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know. And so we go on, and at the end, it's working or doing what I want. So maybe we can go. So I have done this quite a lot of time, for sure. Yeah, but it took me, I don't know, 10 minutes. Yeah, and then it's I have a working version, and I guess it was this or the next one. Anyway, here is it. I have deployed it. So after I'm happy with the result, I can deploy it, and it's really deployed and installed on a working environment where I can send to my customers, to my friends, whatever, and say, hey, here, have a look what I've done the last 2 weeks. Huh? No, it's really, 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 really fast. You only need some minutes for it. And yeah, you can try. Everybody of you here in the session can try it. I will give you a QR code in a second. And here we see we can go into this entry where we find, I don't know, pizza party. And we see in the real app, there's a map where we can see where it is. We can navigate it. We can here make a date roulette where we can meet somebody to eat waste. I don't know. Or we can look for other entries, and here we can edit our profile, whatever. And it's only with prompting and with the requirements and the user stories from our participant in the first training. And bada bing, bada boom, I don't know, 30 minutes later, we have a working deployed prototype. Yeah? And we don't need to spend hours and weeks to implement this and to collect feedback, to refine our requirements and to make it work. And yeah, if you want to scan this QR code, you will be redirected to my super food waste app. But there you won't find food there. It's only fake for sure. Yeah. So this is only for a quick intro for how you can really develop mockups, yeah, with such a tool, or really provide working prototypes with text to code or image to code or design to code. Yeah? I'm not sure how I want to call it. At the moment, I call it really design to code. Yeah? So you only need a design or a rough idea with an painted idea, and then go for it, and you can develop and really test your product, your idea, with real people in minutes. It's crazy. Yeah, think about, I don't know, 1 year before, or yeah, 1.5 years before. Okay, I have an idea and I cannot code. I have no idea how to design it. Yeah, whatever. And now everybody can do it in minutes. It's really in minutes. Discuss your idea with an LLM, create a list of features, write down a fancy design. It's all I have written down regarding my pink design here, and you have a wonderful prototype to work with and to start with and to collect money. Huh?
Does it
go to investors and say, hey, here I have developed the last year my prototype, and it's here, test it, and you can invest it. It's a huge acceleration of our work.
Does it only with text prompts to build the app?
Yes, I only have used this prompt I've shown here. What do you mean?
I think I've seen a feature here, something with import from Figma. So
yes, you can start with import from Figma. I haven't tried it because you need kind of a paid Figma account to combine this. For sure, you can export it like an PDF or JPEG, but it's not that high quality. If you really have a working export with an vector information in it, and then this tool can build much more, which is really good as well as Builder.io. They really have a great integration with Figma. This is really Figma to code, yeah? or design to code. It's interactive. You can, it's like what you see is what you get from Figma to code, and then you can move around the elements as well and deploy it. Yeah, here that's the best headline I've read in the last month. Yeah, take ideas projection in seconds, not in sprints. So it's maybe we should think about to reduce our sprint time. Yeah.
Or go to the next question.
Yes, yeah, I'll go to the next question. Let me share the presentation again. We are not able to share screens today, only applications, so sorry for that, but we will. So here are the questions again. Quick look at the time. Okay, 8 minutes to go.
So yeah, so I think you presented a lot of tools for during our call or our podcast, and it's good point to start. Yeah, so people understand where to look and for what to look here for, and I think it's a lot of tools actually. Yeah, we can use right now, and it can really speed up all our efforts. Yeah, to start building something. Yeah, I don't believe that it will really replace designers and development team with all these tools right now. Yeah, but with some effort, with some preparation, I think we can really improve the speed of development. Yeah, we can improve, reduce some mundane tasks or mundane some, yeah, I don't know, some, yeah, things, maintenance of the requirements, maintenance of designs and prototypes. Yeah, all this stuff can be really reduced, and it really helps to make our uh, everyday work more interesting.
Yeah,
Even maybe.
imagine now this is the state of the art today. Yeah, so imagine I don't know it's really fast developing in this space. Yeah, and imagine what will be, yeah, what the tools can do for us in 2 years. Yeah, in this
Yeah,
development
and
curve. That's pretty amazing, and or scaring. I don't know. Yeah, depends. Yeah, and I don't know. Salesforce said they won't hire new developers this year. Yeah, so it's
again,
it's
yeah, I think yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
there is both
I
sides.
don't know how I feel like regarding this progress. Yeah, but yeah, it's
Mm,
can be an opportunity in our daily life as requirement engineers and business analysts. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah, and
we should leverage technology for sure and not close our eyes and hope for, to so it goes away because it's here to stay. And I think if we're able to leverage the tools, then we're just more efficient, probably produce better results faster. And so I don't think that, the human being itself will completely be replaced, but definitely if you don't use any of the tools and you just say, no, AI is not for me, AI is for cheating and things like that, then possibly you have a lot of free time in the near future. I mean, there's always the risk. So
yeah,
yeah, when I think about it, I think the term that we use a lot also in, when we work in with people in workshops or trainings is like, try to implement small steps. Don't think like, oh, there's a huge pile, I have to know all the tools, I have to get up to speed everything, like dedicate 3 days, just go somewhere and then I can kind of leverage it. No, rather do it in small steps. Try to do something every day, like even if it's just 5 minutes, just ask yourself, okay, what could make my life easier? What could I try out today? Just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and have, establish this so-called AI first approach, where you have to have your favorite AIs, your favorite tools just open somewhere in the browser, always at hand, not just, okay, oh, I have to log in, I don't have my credentials right now, etc., etc. It should be very easy, but at the same time, obviously, pay attention to data privacy. And I think there's a lot of work to be done with companies also to come up with guidelines for their employees, because a lot of people just don't know what's okay, what's not okay, in what situation. That is something that we see a lot in different industries, and of course challenge the results. Yeah, don't just because it looks nice or it's phrased in a great way, it doesn't mean it's right. It could be super wrong. So
yeah,
but it's good.
and I
fancy,
think we
yeah.
yeah, it's fancy, but yeah, we should definitely check if it works, yeah, and if it brings value.
Yeah.
And what I just want to say that also with all these risks about some reduced workforce and yeah, tasks, also we have great opportunity to make all our product more individual,
Yeah.
because now it was hard to create unique designs or unique features for all our different type of customers. Now we can do this. We have a lot of enough tools to do this, and we should think this way. We should improve and create better products, yeah, just that fits to each customer, not to all of them at once. So in this way, AI really helps and makes our helps us to create all these individual products.
That's definitely going to be an interesting time, I think, ahead that we have ahead of us.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
anyway, during one of the conferences, one speaker said that definitely AI will affect our work life, and definitely BAs will be replaced with BAs who can use AI. So just to get enough knowledge, enough training to how to use it, just let's speak a little bit about your workshop during the BA day.
Yep.
And could you please
Okay, we don't want to spill too many beans about it, but hopefully you get a little bit of an impression of what we're trying to do with all the people who were able to grab a seat on the workshop in May. We just put it a little bit together. So basically, we want to go from ideation to a working prototype and everything in between. What are our ingredients from that? Well, it's a training that we developed AI and requirements engineering, like in the different main activities like elicitation, documentation, validation, and management, and pick out use cases where you can come from an idea and then deliver up to a working prototype, as Matthias has just shown. And actually, what we love with that is also what we integrated is the design sprint approach, design sprint developed by Google, and kind of applying the same logic, but further shrunk down into only 4 hours. So you can get from the idea to a working prototype. That's with a new project that we launched with together with a partner, Think and Launch. We try to be with you, with the participants, as interactive as possible. It'll be productive and it'll be a lot of fun. So anyone who kind of thinks about whether or not you should join, we'll be very happy to have you in there. If you want to bring an idea with you, maybe you've got a business idea that you want to develop and get it further, this is your stage. But if not, also we have some case studies that we kind of elaborated where you can go and pick one of those and deliver it further. For example, also the app that we've just shown, the scenario with an app to reduce food waste. Maybe I can quickly show you. Actually, we've been working on the board, or we've been on this board all the time.
Only presenting the presentation.
This is great. Thank you so much for reminding me. No, it's not this one. This one. Okay. So it's all on the Miro board. Why? Because content changes a lot. There's a lot of updates, and we want to have it as fluid as possible because we invest a lot of time and effort and research to get it as actual as possible. You can see there's different, on the different sections, documentation, validation, management, we have different use cases. We have some theory input. And actually, we usually start with a little bit of an introduction, with a little bit of, just to make sure everyone's on the same kind of level, that we start all off the same time. And then we have the case studies here. And the first thing that we do is kind of a product vision. We develop with the AI, with the prompt, a product vision canvas, which is the starting point for a lot of further activities in prompting, because with a product vision in textual format, you can always, dump it into the next scenario, and the AI knows pretty much what are the main points of your case study.
The knowledge of the AI we use, step by step with all these steps Michael mentioned.
Yeah.
So the AI really knows at the end what we are thinking about, what's our idea, what is our business case, what are the requirements, what is the vision, etc. What are the stakeholders, etc. And at the end, you have a working prototype mock-up where you can really start to develop further.
And if you love alpacas, then definitely you should come. You'll have a lot of them.
It was my fault. Once I generated an alpaca and he stick to it.
Yeah. I like this animal. Now we like it. Come on. So I'm gonna switch over back to the slides. But there's, I think, not.
I think it's the last one. So.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
More to come.
Yeah.
More to come later, of course. Okay, anyway, you can find the link to the workshop in the chat. Also, you can go to ba.com and just find the session, in agenda or in speakers. Anyway, there is a lot of places where you can find the workshop, and please keep in mind that the number of seats are limited, so don't forget to book your seat and get participate in this workshop, because you will get really practical experience, how to use all these tools that can help you to improve your everyday work. So thank you very much. It was really interesting, even for me. I found a lot of interesting tools to dig deep and try to use it in my projects. Hope all our all the people who listen and watch our podcast will get something interesting from this as well. And again, see you all at the BA Day on May from 14 to 16. So Matthias, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much a lot for your participation. It was really interesting.
Having us, thank you for the moderation, for the possibility, and yes, wish you everybody a good evening, and maybe see you again.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Bye, everyone, and thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.